guys, today I thought I would be doing the Booktube About Me tag. So I thought it would be fun for you guys to know a little bit more about me. So the original tag is by Harriet Rose and it's basically just a few questions that don't really have much to do with books. Question number 1, what do you study or what is your job? I don't currently have a job, but I am studying English culture and literature, which is basically just like an English course. A bit about the language, but mostly just about, you know, linguistics and literature and stuff like that. We don't really learn much about the culture except via literature, I guess. The name's a little bit weird. But I studied at the University of Amsterdam and I'm currently in my 3rd year and hopefully I'll be finished soon because I've been doing my 3rd year for ages because of my anxiety. Question number 2, what's your favorite social media channel? I think, do they mean like social media platform? Because then it's Instagram probably. I don't really have a favorite like person on social media. I follow a few drawing people, a few friends, and a few people like Zoella and stuff. But yeah, Instagram I guess. Question number 3, if you had another channel, what would it be about? I actually have another channel which is sorely neglected because I used to do kind of like other stuff like baking stuff and vlogs on there, but then that kind of like died out and then I started doing a few artsy videos, but then that kind of died out. But I might be doing more soon. I actually have a few filmed, I just haven't edited them yet. So yeah, probably vlogs, baking or art. Number 4, do you play any instruments? Kinda. Does singing count? I kind of sing. Not very well, but I do it. I can play the piano, not very well, but I do it. And I can play like a tiny bit of guitar. Probably like so little I probably shouldn't even mention it. But the piano, I'm kind of like okay-ish. I have periods where I try to study pieces. Feel miserably, but still, you know, it's okay. And that's kind of like the only instrument I can play. Question number 5, what hobbies do you have other than reading? Well, I have YouTube. I love watching movies and series. Is that a hobby? I feel like it counts as a hobby. I also love singing, as I mentioned. I love baking. I love drawing, painting, basically anything artsy, because I recently did some things with felt and sometimes I do some things with rubber stamps. What else? I love listening to music. Is that a hobby? Photography, I love photography as well. I think that's kind of it. Oh yeah, writing. God, I want to be a writer, but maybe that's like, I don't consider it a hobby, it's my job. No, it's still a hobby, but yeah, writing. I love writing because I really want to become a published author. Question number 6, favorite TV shows? I have so many. Doctor Who, Supernatural, Avatar The Last Airbender, Firefly, and just like gazillion more, but I could tell you about a few of them watching right now. Like, they're not my favorites, but I'm into them right now. iZombie, The 100, and Tribeca, which is hilarious. And what else? I'm watching Doctor Who, of course. Almost finished. Season finales tomorrow. For me, it's already happened by the time you watch this. But yeah, just I love a lot of series. Mostly I like comedies a lot. Or fantasy stuff. Yeah. Question number 7, what got you into reading? I think it was kind of just programmed into my DNA, basically. My dad is a very avid reader. He reads all the time. My grandmas both read. Like, one of my grandmas read a lot. My other grandma reads a bit less, especially now that she's a bit older. But my mom used to read a lot when she was younger, but then high school kind of ruined reading for her with all those required reading, and she kind of grew to hate reading, which is really a shame. But she's trying to pick it up again, like slowly over the years. But mostly my dad, I guess. Like, he always used to read us stories, and he has like a gazillion books, so now I have a gazillion books, and we still like often, I always buy him books for his birthday and stuff like that, and he usually buys me books, and we have a lot of the same taste, so we still read a lot of the same books. And he also is the one that got me into Harry Potter, which is my favorite book of all time series. So yeah, I guess if I had to say like one thing, it's my dad, but it's mostly just my family. Question number 8, what are your favorite and least favorite genres? My favorite genre is fantasy. That should come as no surprise. My least favorite, I guess, like gory thrillers. Like, I like a good thriller, but I don't like it if it has like, especially like if it has sexual violence. I hate that. But if it's like too just, it's basically like those movies, like I love thriller movies, but if it's just a movie like, oh look at us, we can make fake blood, and oh look, there are guts everywhere, and doesn't really have a story anymore, then for me it's just ruined. Like, I can handle it, but I don't see the point in watching a movie just because it's gory. And it's kind of the same with thrillers. So there are a lot of thrillers that people like recommend, and I have read a few, but mostly they're usually with a lot of sexual violence, and I cannot stand that. I hate reading about that. So yeah, I guess that. Question number 9. What books defined your childhood? Harry Potter. So we're Dutch, yeah? So the Harry Potter books, I don't think they were popular like 5 or 6 years maybe after the first Harry Potter book came out. I don't know, maybe sooner. It's long ago. But I do know that when it started gaining popularity-ish in Britain, but it wasn't like super popular yet. Oh, I'm so hipster, I read it before it was cool. My dad saw an article in like the big newspaper here of a guy who went to England, and he saw like this book that kids were obsessed with and starting to grow in popularity, and it was called Harry Potter. And so he's like, well, I'm just gonna get a copy and see what's the fuss about. And he said that it was awesome, that he loved it even though he's an adult. So my dad read like that little column, like a tiny article in a giant newspaper, and he was like, I need to order that. So this was before the internet, so I think he probably went to a bookstore and like ordered through there or via like some mail thing. I don't know how he got it, but he got a copy of Harry Potter in English, obviously, and he started reading it to us. And I think at that time our English wasn't that good yet, so what age was I? I'm gonna look up what age I was. Okay, so it came out right before my 5th birthday, so I must have been like around 5.5 probably. So yeah, we were raised pretty much like multilingual. So yeah, my English wasn't that great yet, so my dad basically kind of like translated as he went along. Like, he read it in like half English, half Dutch to us. And then I think when the second book came out, second or third, I think it was the second book, there still weren't any Dutch translations. And my mom, I remember we were on holiday and my mom didn't feel like reading it to us. To be fair, she was on holiday and she was probably like reading her own thing or something. And I think my dad didn't want to read it to us either because he was probably sitting in the sun. So I think that's when we kind of like tried to read it ourselves. Pretty sure it was the second book. But anyway, Harry Potter, it's such a huge part of me. For as long as I can remember, I have been reading and obsessed with Harry Potter, and then the movies came out, and I remember like the first time I went into our local supermarket and there were chocolate frogs for sale, and they were so delicious. Like the old kind, not the kind you can still buy at like the parks, but like the really old crappy tiny one. I love those so much. And I remember like the every flavored beans, and that my friends and I would just try them out and be like really scared to have a puke flavored one or something. And actually a lot of my friends that I have today, we kind of connected over Harry Potter, so honestly I would be a different person. Maybe I would have read less, probably not, but Harry Potter did like, it's one of the first books that I can remember that really sparked my imagination beyond reading the book, so that I would like dream about it and play Harry Potter and stuff like that. And it's still a big part of my life, and I just love it. And I've been rambling way too long. Okay, so question 10. Tell us an interesting fact about you. Interesting fact about me. So as I said before, like, we learned English at a really young age. We were basically raised bilingual, but not really, because my parents are just very English orientated. They watch English shows, they listen to English music. Sometimes they kind of just like, you know, those English catchphrases, I guess. They would just talk to each other in random English sometimes as friends also. Like, I did that with my friends as well. And my dad read English all the time, my mom too, so we were a very English, you know, centered household. The cartoons I watched were English. So basically I think like around 4 or 5, or I don't know how old we were, but my mom and dad were watching a television program and we were supposed to actually go to bed, but for some reason we weren't. Or maybe it was the afternoon, I don't know, it's a long time ago. Anyway, it was a comedy without any subtitles, and suddenly we started laughing, like my brother and I sitting on the floor, and my parents were like, okay, and then, you know, the show continued and we were laughing again, like right on cue, and there wasn't any laughing track or anything, so they were like, do you understand what they're saying? And we were like, yeah, it's funny. So that's when they figured out that we could speak English, basically. And they started to like help us read in English and like read English storybooks to us. And we had like this weird TV program that taught you English, but we basically knew everything already, but we just thought it was fun to watch. And yeah, so they really started like zoning in on that and helping us learn English. That's an interesting fact about me. Actually, when we went to America, I think that was the year I turned 11. The summer I turned 11, and when we went to stores, my brother and I would sometimes just talk in English, and they actually thought we were from there, so that was pretty funny. So yeah, that's kind of interesting, I think so. Another bonus interesting fact, I have dyslexia, and my spelling for Dutch is atrocious. But I think because I started learning to read and write English later, and because I read so much English books, my English grammar and spelling is actually way better than my Dutch spelling. Which is pretty bad. But yeah, interesting. That was the Booktube About Me tag. If you're interested in doing this tag as well, I tag you. I don't feel like looking people up, I'm sorry. If you want to do this video, please do. And, you know, let me know if you do so I can check it out. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you soon with another video on Thursday. Bye!